in this video. Because he won't stop whining. No, Tesla. No. No, say, hey, look, look. He won't stay hot. But he wanted me out in the video, though. Hey, do-do-do. Look, do-do-do. Look. Looky. Looky, looky. Okay. There we go. That's Tesla, y'all. See? Okay. Hopefully he'll let me do this video in peace, because I've had to record it and I kind of want to stay in my judge. So, as you guys probably read from the title, this is my coming out story. I've been out the closet for a long time. Like, that's how I know I'm getting old, because I'm sitting here breathing, like really thinking about it. But I've been out the closet since '06, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was in high school. I think this was my junior year in high school, and at that point I just was like over everything. Like my sophomore year I was kind of like, I can admit it now, like my sophomore year I was kind of like going through depression, because my best friend, like, he had left, and he had moved, right? He had moved down south. And I remember that. I was just like, oh no, I have nobody here with me. And then my good gal pal, like, me and her, we wasn't really like communicating like that as much or whatnot. So yeah, that was just kind of like a little iffy time. And then I remember I was hanging around, I think, I want to say some freshmen, 8th graders, I don't remember, but yeah, anyway. But nonetheless, I just remember I was real down in the dumps. But then, like, what was it? I think my sophomore year, I think the end of that school year, I think I had to go to summer school. Then I was kind of like finding myself again. Then I was going into my junior year, I think I was like really like comfortable with just trying to find myself more and more, because being a part of the LGBT community, I'm sure y'all don't see a bunch of coming out stories on YouTube. I'm sure y'all heard and seen this stuff 1,000 times, but it's extremely hard to come out to, you know, like loved ones, people you're close with, all that stuff, because being gay and me being African American and just living in, you know, the hood, the inner city, urban city, whatever you want to call it, like, it's extremely difficult, because you have to go back into that. It ain't like you can escape. You still have to go back into it. You still have to be around these people. You still have to just kind of like be yourself. And then, you know, there's the peer pressure of not wanting to be like too forward, because you still have to like maneuver around the city and stuff like that. It just sometimes can be a lot. And I just remember for me, it was difficult. I was staying in Gary, Indiana. At the time I was going to high school out there. I don't know how it would have been if I was going to a Chicago public high school, baby. It probably would have been. You see this face? You see this? I'm just saying, I probably gotten way more fights. It probably would have been a whole different type of environment to be in. But nonetheless, like something right there. But nonetheless, I remember my English class, because that's when I really was like in love with English at the time. Like, I was art major. I went to performing arts high school. I was into arts and stuff like that. So, but English at that time, I was really like, I was writing like poetry a lot. Like, I was doing a lot of poetry. I was doing my drawing. So like, that was like my happy medium when I didn't have to be in school, didn't have to really be around anybody. Those were the things that I was really into doing. So I remember our English teacher, she told us, she was like, okay guys, you're gonna have to write like some essay on something you really like. And I just, at that time, I really wasn't really caring about nothing. I mean, everybody know I love Sierra, but I couldn't write about her. That would have been extremely corny and just not English savvy. Yeah, so so I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna write about homosexuality and the, you know, trials and tribulations of that and stuff like that. And then we had to like read it in front of the class and stuff like that. So So we had to read it in front of the class and stuff like that. And I just remember I was just like, child, like, oh my God, this is just gonna be a lot. So I remember writing about homosexuality. I had to get in front of the class and talk about it and stuff like that. I was like, okay, here we go. Let's do that. And of course, I got a bunch of crazy looks. I remember this day. I remember that. I remember it to the T, but I remember it pretty well. And I just was like, oh Lord, here we go. So, and then I read the, that say, and why I chose it. I'll never forget it. My English, she was crying. She was like, oh my God, Israel, I'm so proud of you. I'm telling you, I know Miss McCready ain't gonna never watch this video, but I love you, Miss McCready. If it wasn't for you testing my gangster and my literature skills, I probably would have never came out in that way, because it really opened up the door for me to talk about it or whatever. So thank you, I love you, thank you so much. Anyway, so I was like, okay, since now I don't read this essay or whatever, I was like, I think I'm strong enough to kind of tell my mom, because I was staying with my mother. Okay, so I came home or whatever, and I told her and stuff like that. I was like, Mom, I got something to tell you, whatever. I want you to sit down. I want to read this to you. Da da da. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know how that go. So, right, I was like, Mom, sit down. Let me talk to you, whatever. I want to tell you something or whatever. So she was like, okay. I was like, I was telling her, boom. I told her, I was like, I just did this essay or whatever, this speech in front of the class or whatever, and I want to read it to you and stuff like that. It's really important. So she's like, okay. She sat down. I read it to her, and I was like, I remember saying something like, I can identify as a homosexual gay male, yada yada yada, something like that. So she started crying and stuff. She was like, oh my God, Daddy, I still love you regardless, son. But then she was like, did the school make you that way? I was like, Mom, what are you talking about? She was like, did the school make you that way? I was like, no, Mom, the school made me no way at all. I've always been this way. I always was this way. I just had, like a lot of us do, we suppress our feelings. We don't want to talk about it because we know, due to the way a lot of our families brought up, due to religious values, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to get involved in it because if you get involved in talking about what you like sexually or how you identify and things like that, it becomes a very toxic thing to do. And I knew by me having a year and a half left in high school, I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care about these people, how they care about me, how they see me, how they look at me. It doesn't faze me. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna come out. And I told her it had nothing to do with school. I always been this way, yada yada yada, carry on. So then I was like, Mom, don't tell anything. I'm going to see my daddy or whatever. So I'm gonna tell him or whatever. No, she didn't keep no secret. She still told him. So that weekend I was going to see my father because he actually stayed here in Chicago. And I was like, okay, well, Daddy, I want to talk to you or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, Betty, your mama talked to me and woo woo woo, and she told me that you said you was gay or whatever. And I remember him saying, I don't remember it till the T, y'all, but no, I mean, he was like, you think if I set you up with some prostitutes or hookers, something of that nature? This gonna sound so bad, but something, if he propositioned a woman to proposition me, would that change the thing? I was looking at him like, no, Daddy, it's not gonna make a difference. I'm like, no, it's absolutely not. But I mean, he took it okay during that time period. Yeah, he took it okay during that time period. So, for the most part, everything was fine. Everything was good, I went back to school. I felt like that burden was off my back. I was a little bit more comfortable and stuff like that. But y'all know, it's just when you're coming out and telling folks things or whatever, it can be, you know, either I was just so blessed that my mother, you know, she wasn't like, oh, I'm putting you out my house. I won't be raising no homosexual and that no sissy in my home and da 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 da. Like, we had some little tense moments where she was trying to like show that she's the boss. Who was the boss? But yeah, none of that. And then my father, like, since I wasn't living under his home or whatever at that time, it wasn't really like he wasn't like he was affected, but he wasn't really affected by it or whatever. So for the most part, everything was fine, everything was good. So I can say I'm glad that I don't have a traumatizing like coming out story or whatever. I just think my side of it is when I became older, and then I really started to get into like my glow of, you know, the hair and the nails and the lashes and more of the feminine, the women's clothing and things like that, because I was wearing women's clothes, but it was still like, you know, because I love Sierra, so it was like tomboy chic at the time, and it still is. But I mean, I don't mind going all the way up or whatever, just because I can do that, because when you're a bad bitch, you know, you can do those things and keep it moving and be okay. And it's gonna be another day. You're gonna live life. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna continue to grow and do all those other wonderful things. And that's the thing about, you know, coming out, is just that you don't want to feel like you have to be discouraged. And I really want all my LGBT people, LGBTQA, and the list goes on. Y'all know this. That coming out is only half the battle, and it's always gonna be half the battle, because the amount of discrimination you'll face as far as in like living your life and having a career and being amongst society is that's a whole nother video. But for the most part, like, that's a whole nother world, a whole nother atmosphere to just put yourself in, because you don't want to feel like you're being judged every step of the way. And literally, I swear to God that every day I walk out this home, I'm being judged. And people like, oh, you're being paranoid, baby. I'm far from paranoid. I've studied people a long time, from being yay high, and as I mentioned in the previous video about me trusting people and stuff like that, like, I'm a good judge of character. And not to just sound like narcissistic in that type of sense, but it's not about that. It's more so based off of just me living in my truth, and how people don't know how to put you in a box, because we live in a world where everybody want to put you in a box. They don't want to see you do anything that can be outlandish or can put them in the crosshairs of being looked at in a weird way or stuff like that. And you have to just really be like, I don't give a F about it. Like, for real, you have to just be like, I don't care, and keep it moving. Because if you allow yourself, you will allow everyone to dictate how you want to be and live your life in your truest form or whatever. And every day, I swear to God, I do that every day, religiously, faithfully, because that is my life. I will not let anyone, do y'all hear me? I will not let anyone on this God-given earth make me feel insecure, make me feel like I'm not good enough to be in the same presence as they are. And I put that on everything that I love. Like, it's no way in Jesus' name that it will ever happen, because when you reach, definitely, I mentioned I was 31, so I'm 31, and I say that so proudly because it means the world to me to know that I'm here, and that I want to say, because I'm here and I'm clear. But we're not gonna be that. We're not gonna be that. We're not gonna be the corny. But I'm here, and that I'm still healthy. I'm strong. I'm doing everything I need to continue to live a very healthy life. And I'm just so amazed that a lot of the things I accomplished, I want to do so much more. I have to do so much more, because there's not a lot of people like me who identify as androgynous, gender non-conforming, or what have you. And what that means is someone who's very in between. Like, I don't mind being called he, she, or whatever. It doesn't faze me or whatever. And I be wanting people to understand that, like, it's okay. Like, you, unless you're trying to be an asshole and disrespect me, then that's something different. But if you're not, and you're just trying to figure out, is it okay if I call her he? Is it okay if I call him she or whatever? Like, it's okay. Like, we in this thing together. So, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. It means the world to me. I just wanted this channel to really grow and get really big, so it can be something that in years to come I could look back as like my little journal, personal diary, but also to help other people know that they're not alone, because it's dark here. We live in a very dark world, a very dark time due to the age of social media and all the things that entails. So yeah, we gonna get into all that stuff. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate all the love. Hope you guys share, subscribe, comment, like, all those fancy things. I greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.